Okay, I think we're back. Yep, we're back. So, I realized what I did. Was briefly worried that I'd typed in a password with the keyboard visualizer on screen, but it looks like I don't have it up on this view. So as long as I'm careful about it, whoa, don't type in your passwords on stream, kids. It's a really good way to make your heart drop out of your throat or jump into your throat. It moves in a direction. It's not a good one. Don't do it. Not worth it. I'm gonna leave it up on this screen for a bit while I slice it, and then we will go through. Well, let's see. Does the main monitor have? Yeah, okay. Main monitor does have no board, but I think I can show this. So we'll pull up Cura, and I just realized over in the Octoprint window hadn't connected, but now it has. So I can drive this guy back and forth here in a sec. Come on. Oh, there it was. Yep. Hop to the left, hop to the right, and I'm doing that from 40 miles or 60 miles, probably close to. 60 miles away. Gotta love networks when they work. Okay, so. How am I gonna get that file over there? I just drag it. Let's see if I can paste it on my dad's. Yep, cool. Just paste it on the desktop, drag it in. Sweet. Oh geez. Cura doesn't like me. Cura doesn't like being streamed twice, is what it doesn't like. Review. It's only going to take 10 minutes. Whoa. Oh goodness. Yeah, Cura does not like being restreamed, which figures. So we've got these top layers. You know what? I didn't add almost any internal, like, cleanup to this. I'm okay with this. Not going to be a structural final part. This is so that I don't spend 3 hours and half a pound of filament, 30 hours and half a pound of filament, making something that's not going to work. So, oh, I just realized I hadn't checked a chat. Let me pop that out. Pop out. Normally I'm pretty good about that. That's a lie. I'm normally very bad about checking chat. Okay. Oh, hang on. Wrong monitor. So we got this model popped in here, dragged over to desktop. We're going to file. Oh, actually, hang on. Things are all sorts of silly because I'm not. It's not full size. That might make it play a little nicer. Check that with all the other myriad stuff. Open folder. Have to pull up Octoprint on this machine. Octopi fiche. Ignore all this. Don't care. Go away. And we've got the rough reference bracket. Gonna upload that locally. Probably should have put it in G codes, but whoops. I think that's all loaded up, so we can set that for PLA. It'll start things warming up, and we can click print. Accept and continue. That's fine. Now we can close out and disconnect. Oh, don't need to slice that again. And go over the Octoprint window. Yeah, that's just going to run in the background. I don't think I have over on my main one. Here, let's do this. I'm going to copy that URL. I'm going to do some stuff and some things. That's going to be a weird, ugly window for a bit, but now it's this. Although, for some reason, it has added a border around it, which is kind of annoying. Oh, hang on. Why is it not letting me also select this one? Whoops. Ah. Whatever, it's there. I can shrink it, ink it up a little bit, but that should start moving here in the next, eventually. Okay, this is the right instance. We're coming up to temp still. Now I'll just run in the background. So, next thing I have to do with this guy. Well, I guess really there's not a whole bunch I can do. So I've got this first test piece, and that'll get printed, and then I can get checked. And if all these angles look right, then I can, tomorrow or the next day, I can extend this section inward and start developing a bracket and an interface for everything, so it all lines up nicely. Plus, I know how to use loft now, so I can make some really weird lofted shapes, and that'll be fun. Ooh, you know what? I don't remember where I put those. I've got a whole bag of springs somewhere that I think are going to be the perfect size for this. It's worth finding, actually, because I do check and see that they are the right internal diameter, because if they're not, then yeah, these are guys. So, bag full of springs. Well, springs and other things. Oh, you know what? There is no way those are going to be large enough to fit an M6. I'm still going to check because, you know, do your due diligence, but I am not hopeful for these ones. I'm sure I can just dig up something from McMaster. It's not going to be expensive either. Yeah, these only have 5.2 ID. So great if I had an M6 cross screw, but I do not. I have an M5 great if I have an M5 cross screw, but I don't. I have an M6 cross screw. So what I have to do instead is actually let's do some McMaster googling. I bet I can find McMaster googling. Yeah, I sold my soul to Google. Sorry about that. Oh hey, we're printing. Make that a little bigger. Yeah, coming right along. I mean, just leveling. It'll get there eventually. Okay, so let's do a quick McMaster search. Oops. CM tab. Got built-in search engines. 6mm ID spring. And fit that over there like that. Only wants to give me bell bills. Kind of subpar, honestly. ID 72mm? Oh, it's 5mm thick. And compressed height is 6mm. Okay, so that's just not really what I'm looking for. Compression springs. Why is my layout so messed up? Okay, springs. Spring with thingas, please. Something was wrong with that webpage. Seems to be less wrong now. So, we want metric springs. We want the ID to be more than 6. And we want them to be pretty short. How am I going to get these things to stay straight? I could do it with, well, hell, I've got a CAD package right here. Let's mock it up because we got the other thing streaming. So I'm gonna hide this preview. Whoops. Hide that preview. Move that guy up there. So let's quickly bang out how this is going to work. So I'm going to have a right plane with some kind of, well, this is just a rough piece. Make this 5mm thick is probably fine. This wants to be maybe 15. Whoops, not 158, 15. And then this wants to be maybe 10. Extruded boss, come right here and just do on the side. We'll do, I don't know, let's say like 50mm. No, 100mm. And now from down here, whoops, convert, over like this, down, and across. Trim all this extra stuff off. Make these two equal. Make this one some reasonable number. Why not have it also be 6? I'm going to set the center line down here, maybe 10 mils. Oh, I should have just done this in the same operation because they're going to go the same way. But this, what I'm going to roughly have is sort of a sleeve on this guy. Just quickly add that. Say this is maybe 12 mils diameter. Extrude, probably 30 is fine. Whoops, not 3, 30 please. Then do a quick helix on this face. Mils, call that good. Revolutions, let's say 4. Oh, let's do height and revolutions. So I want 4 revolutions. I don't want the thing to be fairly short, probably only like 10. Then I can do a quick Schwepped boss. Circular profile. 1 mil diameter. So the spring would be roughly there. And then I can have, we'll do it from this plane, even though that's not really the right modeling way to do it. It's the right, I'm being very lazy and want to do this fast way to do it. So now we'll offset it by, I think this total from here to here is 40. So we can say 40 mils. We want this thing to be 10 mils thick. And we do not want to merge the results, so it's a separate piece. What it's going to be... Oop, hang on. Missing that inner sketch. Compressions that result in torsion around a helical axis. Whoops. Oh, that looks gross. Hang on. Nothing too complicated. This is going to be... I'm probably going to have to put some polymer washers between this and this so that this guy can compress nicely. But we'll convert that so we have a nice close shaft fit there. This will be a screw going through the middle. Actually, just draw threads on that. Why not? Hang on. One of these is a thread tool. Start here. Let's see, end condition up to selection. We'll go up to here. Ooh, no, let's be tricky. Let's say this one. I guess it's gonna merge result anyway, but, well, I could draw, it is gonna be a spacer, and I do want it to be kind of semi-easy medium accurate, so we'll convert that and offset it by maybe 1 millimeter, and make the base one construction so that that in there stays construction while this one isn't. And now suddenly, this is a continuous shaft all the way to the base. And we can say, give me a thread operation from here up to end condition up to here. And is it cutting? think it's cutting. Trim with start and end, please. That looks kind of like a thread. I don't think anyone would blame me for thinking that looks like a thread. It does look super gross. Specification. Metric die. It's thinking it's an M16. It is not. M6? Nope. It just went for M. Kind of rude. Or M60. Look, I just want a thread. M6x1. Please. Oh, and offset this out of the part so I get a clean start on it. Yeah, there we go. So, we got an M6 bolt down the middle. We've got this guy, which can slide back and forth. I mean, it can't because it's fairly locked in place, but, well, actually, hang on. Nope, that just didn't do anything. Very cool. Thank you, SolidWorks. If I rebuild it, is it going to do something dumb? No, thank goodness. So, this M6 screw down the middle, we will have the whole sort of GPS Acme thread cuts just as the music crescendos. It is live, I promise. That's why I'm reading messages, I think. I don't know, man. I'm winging this. This will go through the middle. We'll have a spacer, a spring to push this guy up against it, and maybe I'll do some fanciness so that it's a little more captive and protected. I mean, maybe some dust will get caught in there, but it'd be nice if it was not quite so exposed, I think. But you can have a track running in a plastic piece below it, so you can clamp down on the whole thing, and your forces keeping... Actually, let's just do a quick... Well, I kind of have to draw an extra plane to draw this feature, but we're going to come from tangent to this top, or tangent to this, and then parallel to the top plane. And we can do a sketch up here, on top. I'm going to do this with a 3-point because it's nice. We can come up like here. Whoops. Did the wrong kind of 3-point. I want from corners. So I should be able to do... Nope, that still doesn't work. Okay, I'll just do it at a 45 because SolidWorks hates me. That's fine. It's allowed to do that. Collinear up there. Say this is... Oh, I don't know. It's not going to have to be very big. Pick that point. Pick that. Make that a midpoint so it lines up nicely. And then... Let's hide that guy because it's kind of in the way. Yeah, okay. So this is now going to get extruded from this surface, going the other direction, up to this surface. And I'm going to say merge result, but not auto select, just with this guy. Oh, just you bite me, not extruding up to where I tell you to go. Okay, can I maybe do this surface then? Nope. Okay, I'm just going to say from its own sketch plane, and then down, I'm just going to say blind. Why not? No, I can't do that. I have to do it. Hey, that kind of worked. Hey, there we go. Do some quick delete faces to see if I can clean it up. Just this guy and this guy. Delete the patch. Nope. That breaks. Oh, there we go. I have to delete that one too. But then, I have a nice little sliding block that lets me add sprung detents to the locations I want. I don't think I can add more than one. No. Yeah, if I make the negatives, if I put 2 negatives on the rotating piece, which is going to be really hard to model, like I think I've kind of modeled myself into a corner here. Let's shorten this one down. Bring this guy back to 30. Give myself a little more room on this shaft here. Bring this out to maybe 150, which is longer than the real part's going to be, but who cares? This is all chuck. This is all mocking things up. But on this pivot, let's see. Ooh, hang on. I'm having a clever here. Let's turn off merge result. That's gonna make some of this throw fit. And that's not gonna work. But I can now define this guy as being 6 mils, but it's no longer. Why is it not? Okay, just wanted me to drag it around a little bit. Let's do a mid-plane here and here between these two guys. And now I can do mirror, bodies to mirror. This guy, merge solids. Oh, I have to pick the plane too. Who would have guessed? Now just do a body mirror of this guy about this. And then I have myself a very crummy, not at all up to snuff model that roughly reflects what I've got in my head for how I think I can do this. So these two guys can clamp on both sides, and they can have ball D10, whatever you want. I'll figure that out later. They won't rotate, but they can slide in and out. You might need a little bit of lithium grease in here or something to make sure that this moves right, but with some careful control of the print orientation of, let's see, what's still solid bodies? Everything's thrown a fit. SolidWorks does not like me right now. Okay, so we've got this thread bit through the middle. We've got our two sliding D10 doodads. And then we have this guy, which, if I print it right, I can have the layer lines parallel to this axis, and it'll slide really easy with this guy, no matter, like, it doesn't really matter what print orientation I do on this. And that lets me have a nice firm control over this profile and this profile, so that I've got a really good, it's not going to jiggle around a lot, which is the goal. Yeah. This might have to get moved, or I'll have to find a different place to put this so that it doesn't get in the way of the GPS pivot, but I think this is a good place to start, and once I have... Was that print done yet? I should go check, considering I have a giant... check what Octoprint is doing, but... We are... Oh, 30 seconds away. Well, let me ping my dad, and he can go up and pull that part off. Go to ping my dad, check all my messages, don't actually send a message to my dad. Very smart. Part's almost done. So this should fit... Well, hang on. Let me pull this up. This should fit on the left side. So it's going to go something like this. Oops. We'll switch this to a see-through view so it's a little easier to see. It should press right up against that guy very nicely, neatly, one of those two. It should fit onto that pretty neatly. And the hole should be in the right place, assuming I'm pretty good at what I do. We'll see. And then this sort of end piece here is going to get attached somehow to a much nicer looking version of this, which will have some sheaths and it'll look nice. And I'll have to buy some cheap McMaster springs, which will be worth it because it'll look real cool in the end. Yeah. So I think, let's go back to the main one where I actually have the right camera on. Oh, it even turned the light off. I'm gonna turn that on and leave that on so we have a quick camera shot of my dad maybe picking the part off the bed. Yeah, this seems pretty reasonable though. Oh, that's kind of dumb though. I don't like that. One sec. I can tweak that if I adjust where my my mirror plane is, because I created it between the end of this and this face. If I do it between here and here, then it'll be, this plane will be on the midline or the midpoint of the threaded part, which would be nicer. Just ever so slightly. There we go. Now the bodies are separate. Everything looks a little nicer. Yeah. I'll probably add like captive pockets and make this fit together real nice. I would be surprised if he was walking around. Well, he might be wearing shorts, so I hope that's close enough. And I mean, the camera's facing the side of a filing cabinet, and you can't even see into the rest of the shop. And he's gonna have to walk up to the other shop to put it on the bike, and then walk back, or take a picture of it on his phone and send it to me. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna suppress that because it's annoying. Let's see. This one was a conversion as well, so I'm gonna. Or, hang on, not convert. I want to offset and give myself a little room. Oh, that broke something. What did that break? Ah, it broke that guy up there. I don't know why, though. Huh. Maybe the move face... Oh, you know what it was? So when I made that change, back in this... That original interior surface was created by this line, and SOLIDWORKS' internal identity of that was the same, so I could have changed that dimension, it would have been fine, but because I added the offset, the face that it extruded to no longer exists, and so that's why you get that particular error. Discard changes and exit because I wasn't doing anything, but that's a really common way to break much later features if you're someone like me who does a lot of very messy modeling where you're kind of working from, where you're pulling lines from different locations rather than having a master sketch, is adding new lines early on rather than moving dimensions, and then the face and edge IDs change, and everything breaks. It's pretty reliable. Almost could set your watch to it. I might even want this to be a little bit bigger, because right now it's only 10mm. Let's make this 13. How does that compare? Do a little more space. 20, if I set that further down. Set that. Let's come up to this sketch where I define where this bottom track is. And instead of defining it as distance from the center line, I'm going to define it as a distance from the start of that curve. So only 3 mils. Then I can change this guy and make it as long as I like, and it'll just move down. So it's like 20 seems good. Oh, messages. Nope, none yet. I may also want to do something like, let's come back up before the mirrors. We'll do a split line on, let's see, projection on this face and this face. I want to take, oh, hang on, I don't have a line there. Quick sketch. From here to here, C to shining C. We do a split line, I can say projection. I want on these two guys, I want to split that face out. Now, I think I can offset these guys out a little bit. Whoops. What's going on here? Why you know... Whoops. What? Why did it do that? Flip direction. Did it make that infinitesimally thin? What? I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Let's make this only 1 millimeter. If I try to extend it, they both cease to exist. Which is kind of rude, honestly. So instead of doing a split line, I'm going to just get rid of all that. Add an extra plane in between these guys. Do a sketch on it. Hide that plane because it's ugly. Do a quick convert entities. Drag this around because you can extend arcs even if you convert them. Exit sketch. Boss extrude. 20 mils. Mid plane. Merge result, but do not auto select. I just want to do it with this guy. And now I have a little more authority on this. I could do something like add fillets. That's probably much too large. 5 millimeters would be more reasonable. But then I have a nice little piece that'll fit in this track, and it's got a little more stiffness. It's not going to weeble wobble as much. If I had this much distance, what is this? This total length here is 20 mils. Then it becomes a little bit trickier to make sure that this isn't going to weeble wobble back and forth and tombstone a little bit. Can I pull this guy all the way up until that foot interferes with that? 15, 10. Yeah. Normally you don't see Phyllis behaving that nicely. I don't know why. It seems like it's very fickle about what it chooses to play nice with. That won't work though. That just plain won't work. Extrude cut. This guy, click, convert, exit sketch. I'm gonna do other direction to surface, pick this guy, feature scope, don't auto select, just this guy. Boink! And now we got clearance. Kind of a gross way to do it. It would be much safer to sketch those things out preemptively, but that's how you would do a quick. You can grab this feature, grab the outer circle, cut over to that surface, clean and good to go. I'll shrink this down. All those features came over nicely because I was doing them with body mirrors instead of feature mirrors, which incidentally saves you a ton of rebuild time. If you're careful and you think you can safely do it with rebuilds, definitely try to. Let's do a quick isolate and take a look at this part. Yeah, not too shabby. That's, I mean, it's not entirely printable. I think I would want to only do this out to this side rather than both ends, because this makes it so that I don't have a nice flat face to print on, which kind of subpar. Well, actually, let's just, with this boss extrude, I can just do it one directional, blind, change, well, I don't even need to do it from that mid plane. I can come back here and say, delete this plane. This sketch will throw a fit because its plane no longer exists. But I can click here, and say, I only want you to be 10 mils long. But all these features suddenly lost edges they were referencing, so gotta get rid of those now. This fillet, oh, this fillet and this cut extrude no longer exist because I no longer have a fillet feature that gets in the way of this, or it gets in the way of the spring. Nice and convenient. And the part is still printable. Bring this down to maybe 7.5. Yeah. Yeah. So that's roughly the concept, and then this guy just kind of bring it all back full circle. Well, supports will make a lot of things possible, but they don't make everything possible. And everything... I was talking to a CNC programmer today at the Enduro I was volunteering at, and I learned a very interesting tip, which is any interior radius you make on aluminum milled CNC part, add 10th thou to your nominal fractional diameter. So say you want a half thou radius, make it, instead of 0.5, make it 0.51 or 0.52. That makes the CNC programming go so much easier because you're not going to have tool chatter. When you have, hang on, tool, mill, tool, engagement, I was kind of hoping someone would have, here we go, yeah. Getting the, just open this in a new tab, and image. So when you get the cutter all the way into this corner pocket here, you're going to get terrible surface finish on the inside. So if you just accept that that can be 0.51 or 0.52 instead of dead nuts 0.5, they can use a 1/2 inch cutter. They don't have to go down to a 3/8 or even a quarter if you have other features that are useful for those sizes. And you can mill a lot faster and still get nice surface finishes, which it saves your programmer's time, it saves you machining time, it saves, like, you get faster turnaround on your parts if you design them to be more manufacturable. So don't get me wrong, I'm excited to design dumb things, but everything that you do to make your parts easier to make makes your life suck less. And it's funny hearing a similar thing from coworkers about design for debugging and other systems I'm working on. Just random messages. Let's see if I can't see. Insert part. Design for massacre. Design for masochism. Now, see, that's something I am unfortunately on board with. Why is this guy? Design for manufacture. Design for prototyping, too. Design for things that are easy to sort of slap together. Ooh, hang on. Dragging things around here. Let's see if I can add a mate reference. This edge, this face. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say mate reference. This edge, this face. I've only just been learning to use mate references, so I don't know if this is going to work, but oh yeah, slick. So obviously not going to go together like this, but we can shrink this guy down to say, oh, that was actually way bigger than it needed to be. 6.5. How big is this radius? 8.5? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, no, that's fine. So I forgot it had to be larger than the metal size. So but that looks very good. We can even mirror that over too with our earlier. I didn't label it, but I think it's that plane. Bodies to mirror this one. So now we have sprung detents. This is nowhere near a printable model. It's in 6 different chunks, and most of them aren't anywhere near optimized. But this could almost work. You could almost kind of spend another 4 hours banging your head against this particular wall. And, you know, refining things. This needs a sheath over it so that it's less exposed. Needs some sort of captive thing, so it's like the sliding open areas out here, so it's not really going to jam up. Dust won't, or if dust does get into it, it's easy to pull off. How am I going to get all these pieces in there together? Oh no, okay, I know how I can do it. It's just gonna require a little more thinking. Let's come back up before the mirrors. I'm going to add, you know what? Thinking about this might not even work because I have to have something pivoting over here, and I'm not sure I can reach all the way out and still have stable control against this sort of, this detent. And I also don't like it being square. I want it to be round. So 3 times square root of 2, so it comes out to being larger. And suddenly it throws a fit. Just delete this guy. Is it gonna still throw a fit? Yeah, okay. It doesn't want to delete just that face, which makes sense because it doesn't know if I want to extend this guy or, I don't know. Lots of weird stuff to consider. There we go, okay. Yeah, this could work, I think. I'm gonna save this as a 1190 crossbeam. And this is gonna get some extra shaping around the outside. I think I don't want it to be just this sort of slot profile all the way down. I kind of want, why am I describing this instead of drawing it? So let's put a plane. We'll reference the right plane. We'll make it 75 millimeters away, roughly, just as a wild guess. We'll go right, take a sketch on it. Whoops, I think I did that on the right plane instead of the sketch plane that I wanted. Come and do kind of a very much winging this. Oh, come on, be tangent. Thank you. That bit out. I'm not going to fully define this. I'm my own boss. I do what I want. Another plane. Let's say 30 mils inboard of this one. I also realize I've made this much too large, so I think I do need to go back and add some dimensions there. This only needs to be, say, 10 mil. Even smaller than that. It's like 7. This one, no, I should add some dimensions to it. Whoa, whoa. Make this, say, 10 millimeter. Oh, that's diameter, so it's got to be more like 15 to be sane. And now, quick loft. This guy to this guy. Start end constraints, normal profile, profile. What do we get? It's kind of weird. Let's shift this guy inward a bit. Extrude this guy from here. Vert. I'm just being real lazy and doing things super fast. That doesn't look like it merged. Oh no, it merged. Okay. Mirror. Mirror face, right plane. Just do the whole body. Let's see. Oh, I forgot. I defined it in the first one. Yeah. I want something that's going to have a little bit of weight to it, and if I do, say, an extruded cut in the right plane, let's do kind of a same thing we had before, this little undercut here. I have to go all the way vertical to make sure I'm boot and clear. That small and vertical. Length, say, 3 mils. this guy? Make 3 mile radius. Sketch plane, mid plane, 120. Oop, not quite wide enough. So we gotta drag this line out a little bit so that we make sure we get all the material. I can go wider. Let's go. Oh, 102 instead of 120. 130. Keep hitting the 0 before I hit the other number key. But now I could do a whole wizard through just a random plane, say over here. Enable work, positions. And that one is only up to next when I want it to go through all. So I have to go back to the property manager and change that. Through all. And then I could have my cutouts that I interface on either side. And this is looking kind of goofy because nothing's sized right. Even make this this a little larger, more like 30. At this point, I'm just noodling. I don't think this is going to make it into the final part, but it's fun to think about. Okay, where's this part going to end up? Oh, here's an interesting thing. This fillet doesn't want to complete because it doesn't know what to do when it is larger than this surface. So if I bring this down to like 3 millimeters, it'll clear just fine. 2 or even 1 is probably more correct for that spot, though. Probably get that guy in there at round corners so that those look nice. Those look nice as well. Yeah. This probably isn't. I'm not going to work too much more on this, just because I still need to know if the measurements are right. I need to go take a look at my test part in situ and do some more comparing and checking and make sure all my measurements are right. Or I guess I could email Touratech if I thought they were going to be, if I thought they were willing to help me. Oh, you know what? Let's add mate references here too. And we'll do the same. Insert part. Whoops. I just want the reference bracket, please. Yeah. Let's shrink this down to 55. And it breaks for a second because all my planes are in the wrong spot. This mid-cut right here is too long, so if we make that only 100, then add a mirror, about the right plane, add this guy. This is almost good enough. It isn't actually good enough, but you can kind of see what I'm getting at with these shapes on the end here. I can muck with these a little bit so that we have a little more matching the shape a little better. Come out of that. It's not perfect, but it's closer. Oh, and these are probably further inboard than I want them, so I can come back here to this plane and say, don't be so far away. Be more like 40. Or even 30. So I have a nice long flat section in the middle here. It's going to look a lot nicer, I think, than... that's not to say that Touratech can't do much nicer things than I can with this honestly very nice, simple sheet metal construction. And getting this dimension right in between these two, I'm sure that's a pain. Sizing those to fit between is probably not nice, but I think this will be a nice addition to fit in between. So we'll call this 1190 crossbeam early proto. This is the SolidWorks equivalent of final V2, final V3, final, no really, I mean it this time, final rev, turn this one in. But I have all the models here and I have all the mocking up, so I can go back and look at them when I make a final part. How's that one coming along? When I do this final sketch, what I'll do is I can turn on these two sketches so that I'm only editing this box out here, but I can see the two sketches I'm pulling from as profiles for this part, so I know that I will never end up with that section where, like, I'll just drag it over just to show here. I never end up with stuff like this, because let me get myself oriented here. That's just annoying and dumb, and you don't have to have it, and it shows up on amateur parts on Sketchfab and Thingiverse. It just makes me sad, because if you put a little more effort in, it would show up. Revision control is for squares. It's also for squares that want to know which version of their part they have. I probably should set up a PDM at some point, but I'm only making... I make one version of a part, and I don't ever need the old versions, because the new one's the only one that anyone cares about, so... yeah. I like where I got with this. I don't think I'm gonna... It's already 9:30. I should really go to bed, honestly. But I'm happy with how far along this concept got. So, you know, start with... We've got our proto part. I know roughly what I'm fitting to because I've got a sketch of it. And then, okay, how am I gonna make these detents work? How am I gonna make this all slide on a single post so that the ends are fixed and it's stiff? And that I also have sliders that can have detents of some kind to kind of roughing out of a more finished part. Yeah, radius 3 mils. What's it on this one? Is it also 3? Yeah, okay. I think I'd even want to... Let's come back up to before the mirrors. I'm going to pick this guy and say isolate in the search bar. Maybe just isolate components. Yeah, okay. Move face. This guy. Oops, hang on. I want to come back 0.1 millimeters and I want to flip direction. So I also have to grab this face, I think. Yep, okay, that seems to have worked. What happens if I don't pick this fillet? Is it going to break? Yep, it breaks. Because these two are tangent, if you move this one inward, then this one doesn't know where to... This face up here doesn't know where to go. So you have to move both at once. But now, we can exit isolate and... right side. And now we have a slip fit. So we've got that face there. And we can check those two and hit M to measure between them. Say, what's the minimum distance between these two? And now it's 0.1. So that's... I really, really like the move face tool for making sure that I'm going to have clearance on the weird parts like this, where you've got to have two 3D printed parts, not quite interference, but basically right on the borderline of interference fit, where there's just a little bit of pressure against them. And this part, preventing it from getting all weeble wobbly in here and wobbling back and forth on this threaded rod, or it is a bolt, it's just a really long one, but for all intents and purposes in my model it's threaded rod. It will be butted up against a face on this side as well that holds the actual GPS mount, which is going to be considerably more complicated to model because I have to have lots of different surfaces and lots of different orientations. So we'll just drag that to the end, save it, so I got my reference. Yeah. That's pretty good. I don't think I can keep going on this, because otherwise I'm gonna not be useful at work tomorrow, which isn't really an option. Thank you all for coming and watching. To people watching this later down the line, all the early stuff that you missed was because I was streaming and thought I had left the keyboard helper that shows what I'm typing up on screen when I typed in the password to my dad's home desktop. I don't think I did, but that stream is permanently gone. You can't find it. If you want me to do it again, just ask and I'm happy to, but streaming passwords, streaming typing in passwords, really good, really smart idea. Yeah, that's all I've got. Have a nice night. Boink.